Incredible transformation. Autistic boy, 8, touches hearts by calling housekeeper mommy. What happens next will change everything. Noah's vibrant blue eyes sparkled with life as he watched the summer clouds drift lazily across the sky. At just 8 years old, he saw the world as a canvas, filled with colors and sounds that many overlooked. He was an artist in every sense, but his brushstrokes were often misunderstood. Living in a small Midwestern town with his single mother, Lucy, he navigated the complexities of autism, his earnest spirit shining through the struggles they faced. Lucy, with her worn hands and tired smile, worked tirelessly as a waitress during the day and a cleaner at night, barely making ends meet. Yet, every night before bed, she reminded Noah, "You are special, just as you are." Despite Lucy's love, whispers followed them in their tight-knit community. The judgment was often palpable. Why can't he behave? Is he even normal? Each painful comment twisted like a knife in Lucy's heart. But they pushed through the challenges with resilience. Then came Maria, a warm-hearted housekeeper with the sunniest disposition. An immigrant herself, Maria was juggling her own struggles while caring for a wealthy family. She saw Noah beyond his diagnosis, she saw his brilliance. As the days grew long with summer, Noah found refuge in her nurturing presence. They shared laughter and stories every afternoon while enjoying the breeze that brushed through the open windows of the lavish home she cleaned. Maria understood his quirks, recognizing the beauty in his creativity. Together, they painted a world free of judgment, filled with jokes and wonder, even if just for a moment. But the calm was shattered during the community's annual summer fair. Excitement buzzed in the air as families gathered, enjoying games and food stalls, but beneath the surface, tension simmered. Noah, joyful and unrestrained, darted from booth to booth, his laughter ringing out as he lost himself in the festivities. Then came the moment that changed everything. A group of neighborhood kids began to mock him, their laughter cruel and biting. Noah, overwhelmed, retreated. That's when Maria reached for him, both protective and gentle. "Stay close, Noah," she said, her voice soothing. But not everyone viewed their bond kindly. Eyes turned, whispered judgments danced in the air like fireflies caught in a net. It broke Maria's heart as she noticed the way people whispered when they caught a glimpse of her touching Noah's shoulder. It wasn't safe, and they both knew it. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Tension thickened as Noah found himself cornered by those same kids. Leering faces hovered like storm clouds. Seeking comfort, Noah squeezed Maria's hand and shouted, "Mommy." Loud and clear, the word cut through the noise of the fair, leaving a heavy silence in its wake. Time stood still. The crowd held its collective breath, shocked and uncertain, caught between disbelief and confusion. In that heartbeat, the boundaries of societal norms shifted. This was more than a reaction, it was a declaration of love and acceptance. As murmurs rippled through the gathered throngs, eyes opened, and hearts questioned everything they thought they understood about love and family. Noah turned to Maria, his blue eyes wide, as hope and fear danced on his face. And in that charged atmosphere, the world around them paused, waiting to see what would unfold next. In a moment laced with emotional intensity, everything hung in the balance, daring to challenge the deep-seated beliefs of their community. Would love and acceptance finally triumph over the harsh glare of prejudice? Happens next will redefine everything. Cautiously, the crowd began to murmur. The scornful laughter from the kids faded, replaced by the soft whispers of surprise. Many had never seen a boy like Noah express such unequivocal love. His innocent shout hung in the air, heavy with significance. Maria knelt beside Noah, her heart racing. She could feel his small body trembling beside her, caught between confusion and hope. "It's okay, Noah," she said, her voice steady and loving. "I'm here." But the world around them was in chaos. Some parents shielded their children from the uncomfortable display of affection, while others stepped forward, moved by the scene unfolding. The weight of judgment in the air felt almost tangible. Did he just call her mommy? Someone whispered, drawing startled glances from those nearby. "That's not right, is it?" Another voice chimed in, uncertainty lacing the tone. But there were others who stepped forward, wanting to understand. A woman in a floral dress approached cautiously, her expression softening as she caught sight of Noah's face raw with emotion. "Hey there, buddy," she said gently. "Why do you call her mommy?" Noah looked up at Maria, seeking assurance. "Because she makes me feel safe," he whispered. A ripple of silence followed, and in that moment, the love enveloping them began to seep through the walls of misunderstanding that had built up over the years. People shifted on their feet, some no longer sure where to stand, caught between their ingrained biases and the honest truth radiating from a child's innocent heart. "But that doesn't make sense," a man protested, his face taut with confusion. "That's not how it works." "Isn't how it works supposed to be about love?" A voice from the back called out. It was Sarah, a girl Noah's age who had often been one of the mockers. She took a hesitant step closer. "It doesn't matter who you are, or where you come from, right?" Noah blinked in astonishment, a flicker of hope igniting in his small heart. Maybe, just maybe, this wasn't just a fair where he felt alone. Maria, filled with renewed strength, stood tall. She looked at Noah, then at the growing crowd. "Love comes in many forms," she said, her voice loud and clear. "Noah sees me as family, and that's what matters most." The crowd went still again, then a few parents began to nod. There was understanding sparking in their eyes. "Maybe we've been looking at this all wrong," one woman finally echoed. Her voice broke the tension further. "Family doesn't have to fit into a specific box." Noah's heart soared, his face lighting up with a smile that could melt glaciers. As whispers of understanding and acceptance turned into conversations, he shifted closer to Maria, embracing the warmth of her presence. But just as hope started to fill the void of prejudice, Noah noticed the faces of the children who had mocked him earlier still lingering nearby, uncertainty swirling in their eyes. His stomach churned. Would they ever understand? As the fair continued around them, something deeper stirred in Noah's chest. He realized the journey had just begun, not just for him and Maria, but for everyone around them. What would it take to finally challenge the misconceptions that held so tightly? He looked back at Maria, his eyes shining with a mix of wonder and apprehension. "Do you think they will ever really understand?" he asked softly. With her heart full, Maria took his hand, squeezing it reassuringly. "We're going to show them, Noah," she affirmed. "One day at a time." And as the summer sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the fair ground, Noah and Maria stood bravely together. They were ready to face whatever came next, hand in hand. But deep down, a new question lingered in the air: would the community be able to fully embrace what they were beginning to understand about acceptance and love? It was a hot summer day, and the atmosphere of the fair changed almost instantly. The initial tension gave way to a wave of curiosity. More people were inching closer, intrigued by the bond they had witnessed. Parents whispered to one another, words shifting from shock to understanding. "Look at him," a father said, glancing at Noah. "He's so brave." Noah's courage was contagious. Just moments ago, he felt invisible; now, he was at the center of shifting hearts and minds. The children who had laughed earlier were watching with a blend of confusion and awe. Sarah, who had bravely spoken up, now stood with her hands clasped, her brow furrowed in thought. She took a step closer to Noah and Maria, her voice barely above a whisper. "Can I talk to you?" Noah's heart raced. He glanced at Maria, who nodded encouragingly. "Sure," he replied, his voice trembling but hopeful. I think it's cool you called her that," Sarah said, her face softening. She bit her lip, as if grappling with her own feelings. "My mom always says family is the people who love you, not just who you're born to." Noah felt a small flutter of joy in his chest. "Exactly. She makes me feel safe, and I feel like I can be myself with her," he said, his little hands clenching and unclenching with nervous energy. "I always wanted a little brother," Sarah confessed. "I mean, have you ever thought of me as like, a friend or something?" The crowd around them leaned in, drawn to this unexpected conversation. Maria smiled at Noah, proud of how he was navigating this moment. "What do you think?" she asked softly. Noah's face lit up. "Yeah, we could be friends. I'd like that." The crowd erupted into a gentle wave of murmurs and smiles, an unspoken agreement capturing the moment. Laughter bubbled up as parents exchanged glances filled with surprise. "Look at him!" a woman exclaimed. "He's really opening hearts today." More children gathered closer, their expressions shifting from skepticism to interest, and soon they were all huddled around Noah and Maria, a neat circle of wide eyes and eager faces. It was as if the walls that had separated them were slowly crumbling down. But not everyone was ready to embrace this new perspective. A frustrated voice rang out from the edge of the crowd, cutting through the warmth. "This is all just nonsense," a man shouted. "You can't just redefine family because it suits you." Gasps echoed through the group, and Noah's heart sank. Their small bubble of warmth felt threatened by this negativity. He looked up at Maria, anxiety sinking into his bones. Would this man's anger overshadow the progress they had made? "Wait!" Sarah shouted, stepping forward. "Maybe it feels scary, but Noah and Maria are showing us something very real. Love doesn't care about fancy definitions." The man crossed his arms, skepticism etched on his face, though he seemed to waver as murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. Maria stepped forward, her voice steady. "We didn't choose the family we're born into, but we can choose the family we create through love." The words hung in the air like magic, and for a moment, the community held its breath. Faces softened, and eyes fluttered with realization. Noah felt a surge of hope. "We can all be friends. Everyone deserves love and safety, no matter what," he called out, his small voice ringing clear and loud. As smiles peeked through the uncertainty, it dawned on him this moment could spark a change. It might be small, but it was real. But just as the buzz of acceptance began to transform into excitement, a stray thought crept into Noah's mind. What would happen if they all took a stand, together? Would they be willing to challenge their norms? Will we keep talking about this? I mean, really talk. Noah asked the crowd, his big eyes wide with wonder. The cheers and applause that followed echoed around him, fueling his newfound courage. But as the cheers faded, he still felt a lump of doubt buried deep inside. Would this understanding hold? And as they all began to move, ready for the next adventure, he wondered, would this moment change their lives forever, or would it slip away as just another fleeting day at the fair? The air was charged with an energy that buzzed like the carnival ride surrounding them. The crowd, drawn together by curiosity and newfound solidarity, began to feel less like strangers and more like a community. Tension eased, smiles exchanged, and hands gripped tighter as people leaned in, eager to connect. Noah could feel his heart beating fast but steady. "Can we talk about family some more?" someone called out from the back. It was a little boy with wild hair, holding his mother's hand. Noah recognized the flicker of courage in that boy's eyes, the same spark he felt when he started to speak his truth. "Yes," Noah replied, determination filling his voice. Family can be so many things. It can be friends, people who care about you, or even those who just make you feel loved. Maria stood beside him, her pride shining like sunlight. She exchanged looks with the crowd, and their eyes danced from Noah to each other, flickers of light bouncing back and forth. That's right. It's about who loves you, Sarah added, enthusiasm bubbling. What if we all shared our stories? What if we talked about how we think of family? A chorus of murmurs met her suggestion. Parents nodded, intrigued, and even the skeptical man whose voice had sliced through the warmth earlier turned his head slightly, curiosity piqued. Noah felt emboldened. I want to hear everyone's story, he exclaimed, almost in disbelief at his audacity. Hushed whispers encouraged him, yes. Go ahead. Sarah frowned, deep in thought. I think my mom would love to hear this too. Family means so much to her. Her eyes lit up, igniting a wave of hope. When parents started to form small groups with their children, Noah realized that the idea was catching on. Like wildfire. Okay. Another girl chirped, a spark of enthusiasm in her voice. I'll start. My grandparents are my family too. They always tell me stories about how they were brave when they were young. Noah felt his heart swell. Wow. That's so cool. I want to hear more about bravery. As laughter and chatter filled the air, smiles painted across faces, and children shared bits of their own lives, an idea began to blossom in Noah's mind. What if these conversations turned into something bigger? What if they could create a space where everyone felt free to share? We should start a club. He shouted, bouncing with excitement. A club where everyone can come and talk about their family and love. Cheers erupted, along with a buzz of proposals. The group quickly began brainstorming ideas, sketching plans on available napkins and cardboard scraps, some giggling while others grew serious. But in the midst of this vibrant energy, the man who had spoken out earlier shifted uneasily. With arms crossed, he opened his mouth only to blink at the transformation happening before him. Doubt flickered across his features like shadows, unsure if he should speak or remain silent in this whirlwind of new beginnings. Can I join too? He finally asked, his voice softer than before. Noah turned to look at him, uncertainty flashing across his small face. Everyone paused, chins lifted in a mixture of surprise and caution. Sure. Noah replied, his voice filled with warmth. Everyone can join. The more, the better. We can learn from each other. Inside, doubt clamored, but Noah forced his heart to believe. The man looked uncertain, but slowly nodded, the barriers around him seemingly beginning to fracture. As ideas were exchanged and plans made, Noah felt a mixture of fear and excitement. Could this really work? Could love and acceptance transform even the most skeptical minds? And amid that whirlwind of growth and expectation, as laughter blended with the setting sun's glow, Noah paused. What new connections would form? Which stories would inspire others to open their hearts, and would they dare to embrace a new definition of family? With so much on the line, he felt the weight of hope carrying him, but as night approached, a quiet question lingered in his thoughts. Would they be willing to take that leap together? The air felt thicker now, buzzing with possibilities. Noah looked around, the excitement mixing with a thread of uncertainty as laughter echoed amidst the colorful carnival lights. He could feel his cheeks warm, amplifying the buzz of adrenaline coursing through him. It wasn't just about gathering stories anymore, it was about weaving a community tapestry, quilted together by shared experiences and newfound understanding. Let us meet every week. Sarah proposed, her voice bright with enthusiasm. We could make a poster and invite more families to join us. We need a place where everyone feels included. Yeah. A chorus of voices chimed in. It was thrilling to see the children's faces beam with ideas that erupted like fireworks. Noah's imagination soared. What if they could build a real place, a room filled with stories, laughter, art, and games? He could picture it, a cozy corner with giant pillows, snacks, and a big whiteboard where they could write down their family stories. As parents nodded and whispered excitedly, the man who had once been a wallflower took a step forward. "I could help with setting it up," he offered hesitantly, scratching his head. "I have some tools and I know how to build things." Noah's heart swelled with gratitude. "That would be amazing," he exclaimed. "We can make it like a clubhouse. A family clubhouse." The crowd responded with cheers, applauding both Noah and this new ally, the man's shoulders relaxing as he became part of the fabric they were all creating. "Does anyone have a special story?" Maria nudged the crowd, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. "We could all share." A young girl with bright pigtails spoke first, her voice strong. "My auntie raised me when my mom was away. She taught me how to cook." The crowd leaned in, captivated by the warmth of her recollection. "Wow! Cooking is so much fun." Noah cheered. He relished these connections, the way stories danced and intertwined, sparking something vivid in the air. One by one, stories flowed. A boy spoke of his older brother who fought battles in the army. A parent shared how their adopted dog had shown them what family truly meant. Laughter painted vibrant colors into the night, and as it grew darker, the carnival lights twinkled brighter, echoing the warmth gathering in the hearts around Noah. But amidst this magic, doubt still nagged at Noah. Would they remember this feeling tomorrow? Would they really come back to share again? The little boy with wild hair raised his hand again. "What if we have a name for our club? Something that tells everyone we are family." "Family Club," someone shouted. "No. Something cooler," Sarah insisted, frowning playfully. Noah thought hard, feeling the energy in the room pulse as if urging him to come up with something special. "How about the Heart Connection Club?" Arms shot into the air with excited agreement. As they settled into this idea, a flicker of fear whispered through Noah. What if they didn't always keep that connection? What if this moment, as perfect as it felt, slipped away like sand? Just then, the man who had hesitated earlier stood to speak again. "I lost my own family once, but maybe I can make a new one here," he said quietly, a mix of bravery and vulnerability in his voice. Emotion rippled through the crowd. Noah felt something shift in him, an understanding that even amidst pain, there was space for healing, for generosity, and for hope. As the last rays of sunlight disappeared, he turned to the group and asked, "Are we all ready to build this family together?" The answer echoed loud and clear, their voices merging. Noah's heart raced, filled with hope and newfound determination. "Then let us start right now," he said, the thrill of adventure coursing through him. Little did they know that this was just the beginning. As hearts opened and connections formed, what would happen when the real work of building this family truly began? The first meeting of the Heart Connection Club felt like magic. Families gathered in a corner of the local community center, the walls adorned with colorful art made by neighborhood kids. Noah watched as everyone settled into place, their hearts still buzzing from last week's excitement. He could feel that same thrill rising in him. "Okay, everyone," he called out, clapping his hands to get their attention. "Let us start with sharing more stories today." A hush fell over the group, faces turning to Noah in anticipation. His gaze landed on the little girl with pigtails, who had already become a beacon of courage. She smiled brightly, her pigtailed hair bouncing as she raised her hand. "I want to tell another story," she exclaimed. The invitation felt like a door opening, and one by one, hands shot up, filled with eagerness and spirit. "I want to talk about my grandma," a boy chimed in, nodding earnestly. "She's really funny. She has this big laugh." The laughter that bubbled up filled the room, bright and infectious. Noah's heart soared. This wasn't just a club, it was a family, growing and changing with each shared moment. As the stories flowed, he noticed how diverse their experiences were. There were tales of loss, but even more stories of resilience, laughter, and love, sparking warmth in everyone's hearts. Maria, who had initially nudged for stories, spoke up next, her expression serious yet hopeful. "I once thought I was alone when my parents got divorced," she shared. "But then I found friends who felt the same. We supported each other through everything." The room went quiet. A collective understanding washed over them. Noah noticed several parents nodding. They recognized that shared pain and each connection made them stronger. Then came the moment Noah had been hoping for. The shy man, who offered to help build their clubhouse, stood up again. "I remember being lost after losing my family. But this place, it feels different. Like I can belong here." His voice caught, and Noah could see the vulnerability in his eyes, stirring something deep within the group. "Sometimes family isn't just blood, it's who's there for you," Noah added, his voice strong, resonating against the backdrop of heartfelt stories. The atmosphere felt electric. It was transforming, every voice added a brushstroke to their collective tapestry. A bond was forming, thread by thread, moment by moment. Suddenly, Sarah leapt to her feet, her idea bursting forth like the candy-colored confetti scattered across the tables. "What if we recorded all these stories? We could make a scrapbook with our family histories, drawings, and photos." Excited chatter erupted as everyone considered the idea, each imagining how their story would fit into this beautiful compilation. "Let's make this club even more special," Noah exclaimed, his heart swelling. But in that vibrant moment, the shadow of uncertainty flickered back into his mind. Would they really commit? Would families return, week after week, or was this just a fleeting spark? As the meeting neared its end, Noah watched parents gather their children, laughter intertwining with goodbyes. Just as families began to trickle out, a soft voice piped up from the back. It was the little boy with wild hair again. "Can we promise to always come back?" The room fell silent, each person considering the weight of that question. "Absolutely," Noah replied, an unexpected knot tightening in his throat. "Let us promise to keep our hearts connected, no matter what." A chorus of agreements filled the space. "Yes," echoed through the room, sealing the commitment. With that profound moment hanging in the air, a humming sense of belonging settled deep within Noah. But what would happen when they faced their first challenge together? How would their connections hold up under pressure? As their first gathering drew to a close, the question lingered, buzzing with the promise of change. Noah woke up the next morning, sunlight spilling through his bedroom window, warming the space with a soft glow. It felt like a new day, but his heart still carried the weight of last night's promises. How could he nurture this connection? He leaned out of his window, gazing at the neighborhood that felt more alive than ever. Kids raced down the street on bicycles, neighbors exchanged friendly waves, and the trees swayed gently in the breeze, as if cheering him on. Later that day, Noah gathered supplies for the club's scrapbook, colorful paper, sharp markers, and glittery stickers all piled together on his kitchen table. He could already see the pages filling up with laughter, stories, and colorful drawings that echoed their shared moments. "Mom, can you help me with something?" he called out, excitement bubbling in his voice. His mother appeared, wiping her hands on a dish towel. "Of course, sweetie. What do you need?" "I want to make the scrapbook for the Heart Connection Club," he explained, his enthusiasm infectious. She smiled at him, and Noah noticed the sparkle in her eyes as she leaned down to help him measure out the paper. Together, they brainstormed how each story would be featured. "Whoa, I can already picture Maria's drawing and your idea for the cover," his mom said, her face lighting up. But just as they started to assemble, the doorbell rang, breaking their rhythm. Noah rushed to answer it, opening the door to find Maria and her younger brother, Eli, beaming up at him. "Are you ready for the club?" Maria asked, her enthusiasm matching Noah's from earlier. "Totally. We're making a scrapbook," he replied, sensing the energy building as they moved towards the community center together. Arriving, Noah noticed the gathering had grown larger. Families trickled in, voices mingling into a familiar symphony of excitement and curiosity. As he set up the tables and supplies, a surge of gratitude washed over him. This wasn't just a group, it was a force of change, one story at a time. Once everyone settled, Noah stood up, his palms pressing on the table as he spoke. "I'm glad to see everyone. Last week, we shared our stories, and we're going to keep building on that together. This week, we're creating our scrapbook, so let's get started." People dove into the piles of colorful materials, creating their masterpieces. Laughter echoed and hands waved excitedly for attention. Noah caught snippets of tales being shared, joy spilling into animated conversations. Halfway through, a hush fell over the group again as the shy man stood up. "I never expected to find such warmth here. I want to share something. I'm writing something important." Noah's heart raced in anticipation. The room turned its focus, eyes filled with encouragement. As the man shared his words, an unexpected vulnerability surfaced. "Family isn't always where you think to find it," he said, emotion thickening his voice. "It's here, in this room with all of you." A ripple of connection surged among the group. Noah could see smiles and nods of understanding, everyone held a piece of shared yearning. And in that beautifully fragile moment, Noah felt the strength of their commitment. As the meeting wound down, Noah felt a mix of joyous pride and anxiety. They had built something special, but could this momentum last? Could they withstand the ebbs and flows of life together? Sarah looked over, her eyes shimmering with hope. "Can we do this every week, Noah? I really want to grow this with all of you." "Absolutely," he said, persisting even as doubt flickered inside him. "Then let's make a plan to keep coming back and create more adventures together," she replied. Just as he began to relax, Lila, a newcomer in the club, hesitated at the door, tears pooling in her eyes. I don't know if I can share my story," she whispered. Noah felt the air freeze. How could he help? How could they support Lila, he wondered, heart racing, if she felt so alone? And with every heart in the room tuned in, the next chapter of their journey began to unfold, carrying questions that asked for deeper connections. Would they find the strength to embrace the stories that scared them the most? Noah took a deep breath, feeling the weight of Lila's hesitation hang in the air like a thick fog. She stood at the entrance, glancing around, her body tense as if she were ready to bolt. Everyone else in the room sensed it too, their busy hands slowing as they noticed her. "Lila," he called softly, stepping toward her. "You're not alone. We all want to hear what you have to say." Her eyes flickered with uncertainty, the tears shining but not yet falling. The vulnerability in her expression struck him. He understood what it was like to feel trapped inside your own thoughts, wanting so desperately to reach out but being held back by fear. "We've all shared some hard things," Noah continued, his voice steady. "And you know what? It just made us closer. You'll see. Just take your time." Slowly, she moved into the room, her steps cautious yet determined. The atmosphere shifted, it felt like a circle of warmth enveloping her, urging her on. Maria stepped forward too. "Yeah, we're all friends here. You can tell us anything." There was a gentle smile on her face, encouraging but not overwhelming. Lila rubbed the back of her neck, her gaze falling to the floor. I've been through some stuff." Her voice trembled, but there was a resolve laced within her words. "I don't know if you guys will get it." "Try us," came a voice from the back. It was Sarah, her tone supportive and open. Lila looked up, meeting Noah's gaze. He nodded, reassuring her without words. She took a deep breath, and the room fell silent once again, all eyes on her. "My mom left when I was little. She didn't want me, I guess. The words came out in a rush, and Noah could see her voice trembling. So it's just been me and my dad. I really miss. She hesitated, her tears finally spilling. Noah felt a knot in his stomach tighten. He knew this wasn't just about storytelling. It was about finding catharsis, sharing the things that were heavy and letting them breathe in the light. I thought I'd be okay, you know. But sometimes her voice caught, and she wiped her tears with the back of her hand. Sometimes I feel broken because I don't have a mom around. It's hard when other kids talk about their families. As she spoke, a familiar feeling washed over Noah, stirring something deep within him. His heart ached for Lila and for the missing pieces of their lives. They were all stitched together by wounds, but it was those very wounds that opened them to connection. I wish I could help you feel different, he said softly, stepping closer. But I can't. Just know you're not broken. You're brave for sharing this. Each of us has our own story, and together we can make something beautiful out of all of it. The room held its breath, and he could see the realization spark in Lila's eyes. She wasn't alone anymore. With each shared story, healing could blossom. The atmosphere shifted, warmth filling the space again. Maria leaned in. We're here for you, Lila. Always. You're one of us now. Applause erupted, quick and genuine, echoing around the room. Noah watched as Lila's shoulders relaxed, a hint of a smile breaking through her previous fears. Can we keep talking about this? Maybe I can share more later? She whispered, her courage beginning to build. Of course, Noah assured her, a wave of relief washing over him. We can take as much time as you need. As the meeting began to wrap up, Noah felt a sense of responsibility stir within him. They had stepped into uncharted territory, but they were growing together, fragile yet strong. When everyone was getting up to leave, Lila approached Noah again. Do you really think it's okay? The way I feel? Her voice wavered slightly. Absolutely, he replied, meeting her gaze unwaveringly. It's important to feel it all, the good and the bad. That's part of being human. As they walked out of the community center, laughter began to bubble up around them, conversations buzzing with excitement for the next meeting. But Noah's mind raced with the knowledge that today had changed something. He felt their bond deepen, yet there was still so much to explore. What new stories would unfold in their next gathering, and would they all embrace the raw truths hidden beneath the surface? That question lingered in his mind, the promise of more vulnerable moments lighting a fire in him. How far could they go, not just as a club, but as a family? When the next meeting rolled around, anticipation crackled in the air. Noah arrived early, the sun just starting to cast golden rays through the community center windows. He hoped to set a welcoming tone, one that embraced vulnerability and trust. As he set up chairs in a circle, he replayed Lila's words in his mind. Her bravery had ignited something in him, a spark that made him eager to share his own story. But the thought of opening up also frightened him. What if his struggles weren't significant enough? Maria slipped in next, her eyes bright. Hey, Noah. Ready for another round? There was a bounce in her step, and her energy was contagious. I think so, he smiled, though uncertainty creased his brow. Interrupting his thoughts, Sarah arrived, her hair a halo of curls bouncing as she entered. I brought cookies, she announced, pulling out a container that smelled like chocolate and sugar-laden happiness. Lila followed close behind, her cheeks a soft pink as she took a seat. Looks like today's going to be special, Noah said, nodding at the box. Cookies can make anything better. Lila took a cookie, her fingers trembling slightly. Thanks, Sarah. I was, thinking about what I wanted to share today. Noah's heart kicked up a notch. That's great, Lila. Anytime you feel ready, he encouraged, his excitement battling against the nerves in his stomach. As the others trickled in, the circle formed, laughter blending with the warmth of shared experiences. When Maria initiated the conversation, asking each person to share something from their week, Noah felt the camaraderie deepen. One by one, they spoke about their small victories and setbacks. A main theme emerged: support and understanding. Each story celebrated their unique struggles, the laughter mingling with tears. Then it was Lila's turn. She leaned in, her earlier nervousness still visible, yet determination sparkled in her eyes. "So, I've been thinking about so many things. And I realized something," she said, her voice stronger than before. Noah was riveted. "What is it?" "I realized I don't have to carry this all by myself anymore. And it's okay to miss my mom. I'm allowed to feel that. I felt really alone for so long," but she paused, looking around at all their faces. "Now I feel like I can share that with you guys." An elated smile spread across Noah's face. This was what connection looked like. They weren't just a group anymore, they were family, each person's hurt and hope woven together. With each word, Lila spun her thoughts into a tapestry of vulnerability, expressing the importance of understanding her feelings of loss. And as she spoke, Noah noticed how each member leaned in a little closer, their bodies instinctively drawing together like a moth to a flame. He raised his hand. "Can I say something too?" Lila nodded, her eyes gleaming with encouragement. "I've struggled with my own piece of this puzzle," Noah admitted, his throat tightening. "My dad left when I was younger too. I used to feel like I had to put on this brave face, pretending like it didn't hurt, you know? But I learned that sharing those little pieces makes it easier to keep going." The room filled with murmurs of empathy, eyes glistening as they realized their shared experiences linked their hearts together. "Thank you for being brave enough to share, Noah," Lila said softly, her voice steadying. As the gathering continued, the atmosphere shifted once again. Laughter bubbled, lighter than before, as tired burdens lifted from their shoulders. Everyone felt the bonds solidify, the magic of shared vulnerability infusing warmth into the space. But Noah couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. What else would they uncover together? As they wrapped up the meeting, Noah's heart raced at the thought of what lay ahead. More stories to tell, more truths to unearth. They had become a family bound by diverse pain, joy, and courage. "What's next for us?" Maria asked, her eyes sparkling. "I don't know," Noah mused, "but I know we're going to go deeper. There's more to uncover." Lila grinned. "Let us keep this momentum going. Who knows what else we might find?" And with that, the question lingered in the air, echoing hope and transformation. What stories were still waiting to be shared, just beneath the surface? The day had finally arrived. Noah felt the electric atmosphere of the community center buzzing with excitement and warmth as families filed in, voices mingling and laughter echoing off the walls. The Heart Connection Club was more than just a gathering now. It had blossomed into a refuge, a space where honesty and love crafted a new definition of family. "Welcome back, everyone," Noah cheered, glancing around the circle of familiar faces. Maria stood beside him, her presence a steady reminder that together, they had built something beautiful. "Today is special. It's all about celebrating our growth," Noah announced, his heart radiant as he took in the room. "Let us share how we've changed and what we've discovered about ourselves." Hands shot up eagerly while cookies and snacks were passed around, creating an ambience that felt like home. It was amazing how open everyone had become. Doubts were dropping like leaves in autumn, making room for new and vibrant connections. "Can I go first?" Sarah asked, excitement bubbling beneath her skin. "I've been thinking a lot about what family means to me. I used to think it was just about blood, but now I get it. It's all the people who love and support you, and that includes all of you." She gestured widely, her eyes sparkling with joy. Applause erupted as her words resonated with the group. "Exactly," Lila chimed in, her confidence shining bright. I've learned that I don't have to hide my feelings, and that sharing them makes me feel stronger. I've felt less alone than I've ever been. Noah beamed, pride swelling in his chest. They were growing together, weaving their vulnerability into a tapestry that held them all tight. The man who once stood at the edge, uncertain and cautious, spoke up next. I want to share something too. I've found friendship in unexpected places. I always thought family was just my blood relatives, but you all have shown me warmth I didn't think was possible. As he spoke, the group leaned in closer, feeling the bond deepen as they processed each other's journeys, understanding the heartache, but embracing the beauty of change. We've built a family, Noah said, unable to contain his joy. Let us keep growing together. That spark ignited conversations that danced through stories of bravery, resilience, and the undeniable strength of love. As the circle shifted, Noah found himself confronting a small fear simmering within him. I think I should share something too, he began, the nerves prickling his skin, vulnerable yet willing. I've been working on my own dream, creating a mural of our stories together. He paused, gauging their reactions. I want to capture how unique we all are while celebrating our connections. Your dream is amazing, Noah. Sarah exclaimed, her face lighting up. You should definitely go for it. The room erupted into agreement. That's a fantastic idea. Maria chimed, her voice laced with pride. Art embodies feelings and connections beyond words. I'd be honored to help. As Noah's idea took flight, he felt the encouragement of his chosen family lift him higher than he ever imagined. The transformation within this circle had unlocked doors of potential not only for each member but for the community as a whole. Let us set a date to start. Lila suggested, her enthusiasm mirrored by every child, every adult. We can all contribute and make a giant mural of love. Perfect. Noah smiled, feeling hope radiate from each person in the room. This mural can be our way of showing the world what love looks like. Let us do it. Came the resounding cheer, sweeping through the group, lifting Noah's heart to new heights. As the meeting closed, Noah held on to the thrill of possibility. They weren't just telling their stories, they were creating tangible legacies of love and acceptance that would echo in their community for years to come. With a heart full of gratitude, Noah paused before they left. Thank you all for being here today. I feel so lucky to share this journey with you. Tears of joy welled in his eyes as he watched the faces lit by hope. He knew this was just the beginning of something life-changing. As they filtered out of the center, Noah's mind soared with visions of vibrant colors and powerful stories interwoven into a mural that would redefine what it meant to be a family. This time, as he stepped into the soft evening light, he felt invincible, like the sky was the limit. Together, hand in hand, they were ready to change the world. But the story doesn't end here. You need to subscribe now. Don't miss a single moment of transformation as we unveil more incredible stories. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm and show your support for these heartfelt journeys. Comment your thoughts and feelings about this ending, and help us create a community where everyone feels welcome. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to spread the love. Let's continue this journey together, because only true fans understand the impact of supporting our channel through these actions.